There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
Ooh, what's up and welcome into episode number 64 of the Program Guys podcast. My name is Mason Prince, joined with you as always by Mark Hall, Matt Gann, Ryan Tyson, no Patrick Hertzberger this week. Today is Tuesday, March 28th. Be sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Had a great week last week on YouTube for the subscribers. Keep it up. We're trying to keep those numbers, keep pumping out those numbers. Gotta love it. Keep doing it. We appreciate it. Costs you $0. One more time for the people. It costs you $0 to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can follow us on Twitter at Program Guys with a Z, our Instagram Program Guys with a Z, our Facebook page Program Guys Podcast. However you get your podcast, that's where you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of that good stuff. Gentlemen, how we living?
Bro, it's wedding week.
It's wedding week for your
It's
boy.
wedding week, baby.
You are getting this on a Tuesday. If you're listening or watching, you're getting this on a Tuesday. I will be married in 3 days after you're hearing this. Friday wedding for the boys. All the boys coming to town, Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's going to be sick.
Except for Matt Gann, designated survivor.
Yes, correct.
Pod to live on, and
Correct.
so naturally we had to pick one, and Matt will not be able to make it. Matt,
Naturally,
sorry that we'll miss you, but
Yeah.
please tell us how you'll be sending Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to
Friday,
be a better
Friday.
time. Yeah, it'll be a better time without me. But if you guys want to just drop the link and the address in the pod, just let everyone show up. Why not? More people
gosh.
the merrier.
No,
You know what I mean?
no.
Please, listen. I love you all, but no, we cannot. I would love to. If you feel like meeting us out in downtown Tulsa on Thursday night to get a couple drinks, come on out. See if you can find us.
Come on out, baby.
Yeah, we're doing
The
that.
princes will accept gifts for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely, 100% in the form of fireball shots. 100%. That is that's a move for the boys. That's a OU Texas tradition.
That's a key to
Yeah.
my heart there, Mason. Key to
Yeah,
my heart.
exactly. How's everybody else doing other than wedding things? How's everybody living? Mark back stateside, correct?
Unfortunately so, but yeah.
How was
Love it.
Mexico, man? Was it good?
I mean, it was wonderful. It was really great. So it was very similar to cruises that I've been on, where you've already paid for it, but it is kind of all inclusive when you get there. The key difference for me was we had a butler that was making reservations for us every night at different spots on the resort.
Amazing.
And so like we get there and it's hibachi the first night, and then it's like French, and then it's Thai food, and then it's Italian food. And then we double back for the French again, baby, because that's just what we want to do out here, right?
Of course.
In the week with the traditional Mexican, and look, I grew up outside of H-Town. I'm a Tex-Mex guy, right? But it's nice to get a little bit more of like, this is how they actually do it sort of flavors. And that's what it offered us on the last night. Wonderful time, wonderful week. Shout out to last week's MVP, Ryan Scuba Duba, Ballins Heil. He's a killer.
Okay.
Gotta love it. Matt Gann, how you doing? Matt Gann.
We had some of the best weather this past weekend down in Texas. We had the mid-70s. The sun was out. Me and the girlfriend went up to see the tulips. They were nice and bright and vibrant. So it's always good to be outside. Love
the first time you
springtime
said
weather.
this on the pod.
I was about to say, is that the podcast hard launch?
Is this the
Flex
podcast
on
hard
them.
launch?
Flex on them hard launch.
Man.
Hey, got to pull up the Tyson.
Hey, y'all go back and check it out. We've been dropping TCU hints for a minute
Yeah,
now.
been a minute.
Matt Gann, truly successful is what we'll say.
Gotta love it. Speaking of guys who are truly successful, Matt Gann, as well as Clay Hodges, he is our leader in our tournament challenge, who is not a part of the program, guys. He is a guy himself, lover of the program, but in our tournament challenge, he is in second place behind Matt, but Matt's not going to be able to win those hype shoes because Matt is part of the pod and already has some. We want to give them to someone else because you guys are cool and joining the program every single week. So Clay Hodges,
We have to spend a second longer on Matt being the best at this.
Yeah, let's circle back to this real quick. I need to hear from
He
Mark
needs a
himself.
moment.
Guys, I
He's
know.
having a
I
great
am,
week. A
I
hard
am
launch. Winner of the
I
bracket.
am.
Girlfriend took him to
I
Say your
am
March.
March.
Say your March.
I am March. I know college basketball. Let me just tell you guys, I didn't watch a single college basketball event other than maybe OU basketball here and there. And we all know they're terrible this year. But guys, I spent
So
1
so you're
hour,
lucky.
1 hour of research. No, I did my research. I did my due diligence, and I pulled it out. Not only did I win this bracket, I won my other Norman bracket. I actually get to take home the prize there.
Is it the same bracket that you just copied over?
Yeah. Why? It's a winning
I'm
bracket.
confident
So, yeah.
there's overlap there. I don't know what kind of you had one really great bracket. No, that's awesome.
Yeah,
You
why would
should
I
win
mess it up?
every bracket you're in if you have one like yours right now.
Yeah.
Like you
No,
did
and I
a
did.
great job, Matt.
Thank you.
Wow.
It was pretty impressive. Thank you, Mark. I really appreciate
Because
it.
this thing has always been one-sided. I don't give Matt any more trouble than I give everyone else.
Yeah. That's fair.
I don't understand the heat.
No.
Great job, Matt.
Thank
Well,
you.
you can feel the love coming from Mark, but you can also see the daggers in his eyes. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not even looking at him on the camera, guys.
He
It's
just
not a bad thing.
doesn't care. So congrats to Clay. One more weekend to go for Clay, and we can officially name him the winner of that Hype Shoes giveaway for his
Good
March
stuff, Clay.
for his March Madness bracket. Okay, some OU football news. Let's get to it. Kyler Murray getting a statue revealed at the spring game, April 22nd. Going to be awesome. Excited to see what that statue is going to look like. Hopefully it looks better than Baker's. But Kyler sent out a little video via his Twitter, maybe I guess his social media. I'm sure he posted on Instagram too. But just basically saying how excited he was to be there. It's gonna be cool that Kyler's coming back to Norman. I think he was back like his second year or his rookie year in the NFL, and now he's coming back for a whole weekend dedicated to him. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait. Anybody
I'm really
on Kyler?
excited. I really wish. Look, two thoughts. I'll start with the good one. I wish that. So what? It's unveiled at like 11:30, right? And then spring game is going to kick off at 2:30.
Yep.
I'm sorry to say, guys, I'll be at the game. I'm not being at the unveiling, right?
Yeah.
There is some preparation to be done before walking on over to the stadium for the game. So
100.
that part kind of sucks. I wish that it was at like 2 and then 2:30, right? That would be perfect. But I understand the want to get people in the seats early. Second thought, less important. You think it'll be kind of to scale compared to all the other ones? Like, is he going to be a little small guy?
I don't think so. I think it'll be
the scale.
Like if Sam Bradford is Big Mario, do they do Kyler as like Small Mario?
It's a good question.
I don't think so.
It's got to be a no, right? It's like
He
there's
can't be the
do
same
that.
size. It can't be the same
very-
size statue as
very-
Sam Bradford's, right?
It'll probably just be like bigger, if that makes sense. Like the scale will be the same, but it'll be like the proportions.
He's just
will
going to be like gigantically
Yeah.
broad.
Yeah.
He's
compared to all
gonna-
these
yeah.
other ones.
Yeah,
he's gonna
that's what's gonna happen.
He's gonna look like Gerald McCoy or something, just massive. Yeah.
It's
Matt,
All I gotta say is
Great.
you don't find many programs that can have back-to-back Heisman revealing statues at their spring game. So obviously it's a great thing for OU fans to get to experience. We did this last year and I nailed it. What do we think the statue is going to look like? I said last year it's definitely going to have the headband for Baker, but what do we think the Kyler statue? Is there anything stick out to you that Kyler statue might have?
It's
Mark.
gonna be what Mark's doing.
holding the ball up. What was that?
Yeah.
It's the OU Texas game, right? When he's running
Yes.
after the 75-yard
it's got to
touchdown.
be right.
The one I had to convince Ryan to stick around for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got to be. It's got to be
Seared
that.
into my
That's the
brain.
first thing that got into my mind. He obviously won't have a helmet on, but I think he'll have a headband on. He won't have braids. He just got the braids in the NFL, so
That's
he'll
new.
go with that's a new thing. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for. Look, I will always root for Kyler. I think he's got whatever he's got going on in the NFL right now with the Cardinals, that drama to deal with. But when he comes back to Norman, he is going to be the most loved person in that stadium. And I think OU fans don't love him as much as Baker, but I think they give him enough credit. Like, if that makes sense. Like, if they had to choose, they'll always choose Baker, I think. But at the same time,
there's always love for
people,
Kyler.
yeah,
Baker
people
was
know
Kyler.
people
Yeah.
100% know what they had in Kyler Murray. Like,
Yeah,
OU fans knew what they had, and that was the best player in college football that year. He was insane.
Mm-hmm.
He was nuts.
The most talented college football player I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I stick to it. Anything that happens in the NFL, I don't care. That's the best football player I have ever seen on the field. More talented arm than anyone I've ever seen, and he's the fastest player, and he runs like water. He fills gaps. He has no business filling. Amazing stuff. Did y'all see the picture I just dropped?
I
in
just
there?
did.
That would
Yeah,
be a cool
from the Orange Bowl. It's a little sidearm sling. Yeah, that'd be a good one. I think he's got to be. I think he's got to be throwing because Baker was running. I think Kyler might be throwing, like dropping back.
It would
to
make
pass.
sense. It would make sense, right? And I think that's a pretty cool Kyler-esque little angle you have there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'll tweet that out for the program followers.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter.
Which ones? Yeah,
follow us on Twitter at Program Guys with a Z. Also, Mark dropped the new Twitter.
Oh, it's
for the
at
people.
Burner Guy Mark now because it used to be at Program Guy Mark, and then love him or hate him, Elon doesn't exactly help you recover accounts like he could. So I had to completely restart. Please come follow me so it's not just robots wanting to hook up. Thank you.
That'd be rough.
Also, Mark's responses to his old account every time the old account tweets is some of my favorite stuff.
It's great.
So mad.
I mean, you should be. You should be furious. Yeah,
don't do anything, man.
No, it's ridiculous. And
whatever. I'd pay $8 to get it back.
Yeah,
I wouldn't pay $8
in
perpetuity, but I'd pay $8 to get it back.
Yeah, I get that. Some recruiting news, boys. Let's move on to some recruiting news. It was a big recruiting weekend. Big recruiting weekend last weekend. A lot of guys came into Norman. It's called the Future Freaks Day, Future Freaks Weekend. Not really sure what it was, but there was a ton, almost too many to name, guys who came in from the 2024 class, 2025, 2026. They were all there hanging out. And to come from that, we had the first commitment for the Oklahoma Sooners, first commitment of the 2024 class, and that is cornerback Jeremiah Newcomb. He's a 5'11", 175 corner. He committed to OU to be the first pledge of the 2024 class. He announced it on Twitter on a couple of days ago, I believe. So he becomes the first committed guy. I would expect him to stay locked in. 4-star guy. He's from Texas, I believe. Arizona. Arizona. He's the Arizona kid, I believe. Queen City, Arizona.
I thought he was Texas.
No, the safety Jaden Hardy is from
Gilbert, Arizona.
There you go.
Arizona. Jaden Hardy is from,
there you go.
Jaden Hardy is from Texas. A lot of the guys that we got crystal balls from, which we'll get to, are from Texas. Yeah, Jeremiah is an Arizona guy. Kind of funny that's where the first commitment comes from. But I mean, last year it was a holdover from the Lincoln era. So I'm going to take it where we can get it. Yeah. It also does seem, based on some of the crystal balls that have come through, that this might really just be the first of, last year it was over the summer. Maybe we start to see that hit a little earlier just as time passes on with this regime. But truly, I don't know enough about Jeremiah yet to really speak on him as a player. But man, to lock up a 4-star DB in March heading in, knowing that might just be the beginning of some momentum in your favor coming out of this Future Freaks weekend, that's pretty cool place to be in. Knowing how they want to run their program, they haven't been looking for commitments from these guys early. Now's the time. Watch for it to come in.
I also think it's something to be said. Keep in mind, when PJ Adebawore committed, he was a 4-star. He ended up a 5-star. These guys still have a full season of football to play and impress these scouts. He could end up a 5-star by the time we get to signing day, in December. You know what I mean, Matt?
Yeah, I would say chalk it up, another victory to Jay Valai. Just another recruiting trail moment for him. I think he's just been huge addition coming from Alabama and just getting some of these commits we've gotten in the past 2 seasons. So really excited. Also, we've got crystal ball that he could be a part of as well. So the DBs and safeties, even coming into this season, looking really good. Obviously going to continue to add more depth. I mean, he's living up to what we're paying him so far. So really exciting to see that. I think Mark brought a good point. We didn't really see a lot of commits for 2023 until the summer. So maybe we start getting them a little bit earlier. But it'll be interesting to see. I think OU fans continue to have to be patient. But I think summer is where we really hit it off, and probably will continue to do so, especially if BB's policy continues to stand the way that he likes to run his recruiting.
Ryan, you got anything?
Yeah. So I wanted to look up, because I remember reading like a tweet that was like a ton of people are coming into this Future Freaks Day thing, and there was over 60 recruits there, which is like a lot. Like that's hold on,
over 90.
Over 90. Over 90. Okay. The source that I just read is wrong. Apparently, we have over 90. That's insane. That's a lot of people. But... like that's a lot of people. And I think it's awesome that they're doing all of these events, because like this isn't the first one they've done, and they keep doing them. And that's great.
It works out. It works out every time they do it.
I really
think branding
think
is sick every time.
Yeah, I really think a date to circle is like April 8th, and that's when Hawkins is going to commit. And I'm interested to see if he does go OU, or to Matt's beloved Horned Frogs.
Yes.
Which wherever he goes, if he does go to OU, is that going to start this domino effect? We've seen a lot of crystal balls coming in, and we're going to talk about some, but like, when is the actual, we saw the first domino go, but it's a little bit staggered. Is there going to be like a volcano, like eruption at some point that's just like boom, 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 here all these people go? And it would make sense to me the 2024 QB comes in and it starts the party. So
I have 2 Michael Hawkins thoughts, and I want to throw a question at Matt as my first one. Matt,
yes,
knowing that your girlfriend listens to this podcast, even if she tells you she doesn't,
right? Mm-hmm.
Who do you want Michael Hawkins to sign with, and why? Knowing that we have Jackson Arnold and 2025 commit Kevin Sperry already locked in.
Well, we talked about this, or at least I brought it up. Once Kevin Sperry committed, how that would affect Michael Hawkins, knowing that he's got Jackson Arnold in front of him, unless he potentially goes to the draft in 2 years, whatever it might be. But then he's got the quarterback behind him. So that's going to bring a lot of pressure probably into his decision. I'd rather him to come to OU because I love quarterback depth, and you need QBs, especially when you play in the SEC. So I would love for him to come and create quarterback competition, but I'm sure that commit by Kevin Sperry probably is going to sway him one way or another. So April 8th is definitely going to be a big deal. But Ryan, I think you bring up a good point. If he ends up committing, probably a couple other guys are going to follow him. Same thing happened with Jackson Arnold as well. So QB commits are huge, especially if they're highly recruited and a big deal.
Love it.
Second thing for me, I just think he lands in Fort Worth. He was considering it. He was considering Briles when Briles was at Arkansas without ties there. And now Briles is in his backyard. It's concerning for me. And also he is that in-between guy.
It's a win-win for me.
To be an in-between
It's a win-win.
God, win-win for me.
Says, Lord.
Yeah. Some crystal balls to talk about. First off, we're going to start with 5-star 2024 tight end Devon Mitchell, 6'4", 245.
He's 25. I don't know why they say that. No, he's 25. Let's be quick on this.
So he's 25, but he's going to reclassify, is what everyone has said.
Okay.
So that's why they're saying that on all these tweets?
Mm-hmm. I say he's going to reclassify. I believe he's a 4-star in 2024, but a 5-star in 2025.
Okay.
But that is what I read. So who knows?
So he's
man.
Regardless, a tight end nonetheless. At 24/7, I have him trying to find him. Maybe I can't find him. Okay. Regardless. So Brandon Drum got that crystal ball for him. He's from Los Angeles. I can't remember what high school.
Well, he's now from Los Angeles. He actually played ball with Mike Hawkins at Allen and just moved to Los Alamitos High School for this season of ball. I mean, you don't want him to be in Lincoln's backyard, but yeah, he just got there. He's a Dallas guy. Sorry.
Yeah, but 6'4", 245, that's a big body tight end, man. It's a big body tight end, and no one's going to complain about having a guy like that on the roster. Matt, anything to add?
Yeah, I just think we haven't had like a true receiving tight end since Mark Andrews, and this guy is the epitome of a future freak. So if a guy like that can get committed, and hopefully we can see maybe the resurgence of Stogner coming back. But this guy would be a huge addition to the tight end room because we just haven't had a guy like that since Mark Andrews.
Yep. Another guy, crystal ball, 4-star 2024 safety, Jaden Hardy, 6 foot 170. He's from Texas. That crystal ball comes courtesy of Steve Wiltfong. He's the nephew of Marcus Dupree, former Oklahoma running back, quote unquote, the greatest that never was. So
fantastic 30 for 30.
Fantastic. Very, very good.
So good.
So that's not bad. Another defensive recruit that looks to be on OU's radar and looks to be locked in somewhat soon. That you can't be upset with the guys that they're getting in the secondary. I feel like we keep seeing these great recruits, 4- and 5-star athletes, all being in the secondary. And I think that's not an accident. Like, they know they're going to have to build the back end of this defense to sustain solid play throughout the rest of the Big 12 slate and then continuing on into the SEC play. Secondary is massive. You know how good Georgia's secondary is. Obviously, Georgia's good everywhere, but they have great secondary. Alabama's always had a great secondary. Always. They have guys so good all the time. So I'm not surprised, but it's a good feeling to know that they're putting this much emphasis on getting strong secondary help.
Yeah, especially with what we saw last year. What we've seen multiple years, not just last year. I mean, our secondary usually is not very good. So I love it. I love the fact that we understand our weaknesses and we are actively doing things to fill those gaps.
Respectfully, these aren't any Buki Radley Hiles. You know, these guys are way
that we know of
than Buki.
Oh, dog! If we want to do the whole Buki thing,
I
think he was very poorly served by the coaches he chose to play for, and that's not his fault. If you put Buki on this team, he's playing Cheetah, and we're psyched about it. It's not his fault. You know, he was a moldable bit of clay. And instead of molding it, they were like, go.
Fair enough. Matt, anything to add?
Anyway, Jaden Hardy, 6 foot 170. Very love to see that. He's going to be 190 before he ever gets to on the field.
Mm-hmm. Matt?
Yeah, just quick add. I think all the blue blood programs that you mentioned, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, always have like a first round NFL draft pick, either in the secondary or some type of lockdown corner. And again, these are why Jay Valai was taken from Alabama to OU to recruit these types of guys. I can't stress how important he has been to the recruiting trail, especially if he continues with this type of rapport with these type of players. So that's what you want to see as a lockdown secondary.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and circle those wagons, Matt Gann. What do you think? Oh, go ahead, Mark. Go.
Yeah, there were a couple more that came through that we don't have to stay on long, but if we could.
I missed them, so go ahead.
2025 4-star receiver Grayson Harris got a future cast from Josh McQuiston out of Rivals. So I think that Josh is pretty good at what he does. He's pretty accurate when he throws those in there. Only 5'9", 160 out of Ennis High School. Ennis is not that far from me, guys. Maybe we get some boots on the ground next spring or next fall. I'll see what I can do. Past that, there's also 2024 O lineman, 3-star Caden Massey. Out of Linden, Kansas. He is 6'7", 270. And
so 6'7" is what you see.
I love how when Lincoln left and Jeff Lebby came in, and Jeff just told Bill Beatonbow, like, go get your guys. Now everyone either comes in and they're 6'5", 320, like Caden Green, or they're 6'7", 6'8", 260. Like it's gigantic monsters.
Yeah.
And love to see it. I think that those are the only guys that we missed, but wanted to make sure we shouted out their possible impending commitments.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right, Matt. Want to start with those wagons? You want to get it together? Let's go.
Absolutely. Just a quick update. Not too many programs, or a lot of programs are on their breaks. So starting with OU's women's gym, I mentioned it last week. They do have their NCAA regional in Norman this weekend against a couple ranked teams in Alabama, Kentucky, Ohio State. So if you're in Norman, you got some time. It's over, I believe, the whole weekend. They're going to compete. So please head down there. Cheer on the number one Sooners as they go into regionals and potentially the finals and championships over the next few weeks. Softball improving to 30-1 after a sweep of their first Big 12 opponent, the Iowa State Cyclones. They pulled out the broom, or hopefully they'll pull out the brooms against their next opponent as well, who is our Red Rib rivalry, Texas, this upcoming weekend. So doing something a little bit different. I don't know if they typically do this, but they're going to play the first game at Hall of Fame Stadium in Oklahoma City, and then the next two games down at Marietta Hines Field in Norman. So not sure if that's typical or they do that during the season, but should be a good one. And maybe they just need more people or more stands for the fans to come on in. So hopefully they get another sweep this weekend. Women's tennis, loser of two straight against Pepperdine and San Diego. They'll look to bounce back against their first Big 12 opponents in Iowa State and West Virginia. All other programs are on a break. OU's men's gym, mentioned them last week as well, is doing something similar to women's gym. So they had a week in between their upcoming championships, and they will compete in Colorado Springs against Air Force Stanford in Colorado before their regionals, which will be determined after this weekend. Men's tennis recently beating Middle Tennessee and Tulsa, and then they will play TCU, my Horned Frogs, and UT Arlington this weekend. And finally, men's baseball just currently have a losing skid of losing 4 in a row. Lost to Dallas Baptist, and then they got the brooms pulled out on them after a 3-game sweep by the Kansas State Wildcats, losing 7-1, 7-6, and 8-7. So some close games there, but just can't pull it out. Their now record is 13-11. They just haven't found the consistency that they had last year. So Skip Johnson and company got to figure some things out as they continue Big 12 play later on in the season, but they'll take on Stanford and Wichita State this weekend. So that's really all the programs had for Circle the Wagons. That's a quick update from me, and I'll give you some more updates next week as we got some championships upcoming.
But thank you so much, Matt. All right, Ryan, a hiatus, but you're back.
I'm back,
I
baby.
believe. Are you back?
Yeah,
okay.
I think
again.
Well,
Are you back? All right. Must watch.
Guess who's back?
Back again. No.
Ryan Tyson.
Please stop.
Hello, friend.
I really
Guess
don't
who's back?
need this.
Guess who's back?
Okay, yeah. So we're this is a very informal must watch, and it's going to be very quick because I've talked about this show before, but I need people to watch it, and I really wish Patrick was here because I feel like he would watch this. And Mark just looked at me and mouthed the word "no" for you people who are on YouTube.
I'll get around to it. It's not the time yet.
Okay. So the show I need y'all to watch is Succession on HBO, which is a show that has been around. It just premiered its 4th season this past Sunday night. Its 4th and final season this past Sunday night. So it is ending with this season. Everything is available on HBO, so you can watch, at the speed you would like. It is an hour drama, but really it's probably the funniest show on television right now, and arguably just the most well-written, best acted, all the accolades I could give it. I give it. It's one of the best shows that I've seen in the last 5 years. Easy. It is, I think I've talked about this before, and I've talked about Succession, but essentially it is about a bunch of rich, wealthy people that is basically based on kind of the Murdoch family. And like loosely based.
Big
I would
friends
say.
of the program.
I would say loosely based.
Okay.
And so it's all about this, conglomerate media company that is ran by the head older man. His name is Logan Roy, and he has 4 kids. And essentially it's all about like who is going to take over from Logan when the time comes, who is going to succeed him, which is why it's called Succession. Essentially, it's a show where you just watch terrible people doing terrible things with a lot of money, and it is incredible TV. It's just engrossing. It reminds me a lot of The White Lotus, but it's better than The White Lotus. And it came before The White Lotus, so I just can't recommend it enough. Writing's incredible, acting is so good. Yes, Mark.
Would you call it rich people power porn?
Essentially, yeah. That's actually
not bad, right?
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's gorgeous to look at because there are a bunch of rich people on these fantastic yachts and these fantastic houses being terrible to each other. It is so damn funny. It is so funny. Like, I am constantly laughing, and then it can turn on a dime into something that is like incredibly serious and dramatic and really sell like an emotional moment. So not a lot of shows can do that. Not a lot of shows understand themselves well enough to have that kind of a tone switch and be able to do it seamlessly. Just please go watch it. It's really good stuff. And I wish Patrick was here because it is real. It is not fake. And I feel like he would enjoy it if he liked
really
something
think
like
he
White
would.
Lotus.
I think Patrick would love Succession. I really do.
It's on HBO. You know it's gonna be good. It's like it's classic.
Is he not watching it?
Patrick?
Does he not watch Succession?
I don't think
who knows what he watches.
I trust Ryan on this, especially. I feel like he would know if
he is.
It seems like Patrick's kind of thing.
It is Pat's kind of thing, and he probably would love these people. I just I have a feeling he would.
He would ride the wave so hard.
Things I know for sure Patrick watches is German soccer and The Office, and that's the list. That's the list.
I feel like if he was watching it, I would know about it. But if he is watching and I don't know about it, I would love to talk to him about it because it's great.
Tennessee football.
Great TV.
Oh, Tennessee football. I missed out on
and
that.
basketball.
And basketball.
And basketball.
I don't know for sure about Oklahoma football, but and hey, we'll see if Pat listens, right? Because we'll hear about that one.
Yeah. Oh, and Ravens, Bears, Texans, Rams games. Those are.
I mean, naturally, he's not gonna miss those.
I mean, yeah,
Wait,
those are.
Did he
those
have
are the
another one,
boys.
or are those all of them?
I think that's all right now.
Yeah,
let's see where Lamar goes, man.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows? All right, thank you, Ryan.
That's all my must watch. Go watch it.
Awesome, thank you so much, Ryan. Appreciate it. Let's do some PGP MVPs of the week. Matt, go ahead, get us started.
Well, thank you, Mason. I will go. We haven't talked about it a lot, which I think is a little disappointing. I know we talked about it a little bit at the top of the show, but I'm going to go March Madness. This is one of the best times of the year. Again, I don't watch a lot of college basketball, but when it comes to the month of March, it's the best time of the year. Dramatic upsets. This is the first time a number 1 seed hasn't been in the championship in God knows how long. We got FAU, number 9 seed, playing against number 5 San Diego State, and number 5 Miami playing number 4 UConn. That is just something you don't typically see, especially when last year we had Kansas, Kentucky, all the blue bloods in the Final Four. Villanova, North Carolina. So that's what you love about college basketball. And give a big shout out to my basketball insider, who I will not disclose on the pod. He led me to my 2 bracket wins for March Madness. So thank you so much for the research that you do. I will look forward to it next year as well. March Madness and my undisclosed insider for college basketball. Thank you so much.
Gotta love that. Okay. My MVP of the week is my lovely fiance, soon to be wife, on Friday, Katie Beth Brungart. She has worked her absolute ass off for the past year to get this wedding ready. I mean, guys, if I could show you my house, like, it's been full of wedding things for a year. She handmade these signs on acrylic that are the seating chart. She handmade all of the all of the name tags for the seating charts. She handmade all the invitations, handmade all the rehearsal dinner invites. Like, she's done it all, and it's quite amazing to see. So I really can't wait for people to come out on Friday to the wedding and see all the work that she's put in, because it's really quite astounding. Because everything that you see, I can promise you she did herself besides grow the flowers. So Katie Beth Bronkart, my MVP, soon to be Katie Beth Prince.
Can't wait to see all the pictures on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, designated survivor.
Designated survivor. You can't come.
That's a top tier reference, by the way, Mark. Just a top tier reference right there. I like that. All right, Mark, who's your MVP?
One thing. Okay, cool. So all right. Well, I'm going to tell a story real fast, just as part of it. So when I was in Mexico, I don't know why the word quipper came up, but it became determined that I'm a pretty good quipper, where like there's not a lot of depth, but I've got a one-liner for a lot of things. Yeah. And, so the designated survivor thing, I think, pretty good quipper. Yeah. Anyway,
Quiplash? MVP, is that where it came from?
No. What? No. Apparently, okay, so it was like a kind of fish.
Oh.
And I didn't know that. But someone said, "What's a quipper?" And I was like, just a one-liner. And then it sort of...
and then it stuck.
Yeah.
Well, and then it stuck on me. It was...
Oh. Okay. Well, you could be called worse things.
No, I enjoyed it. I ran it from there, but anyway, that's the game. My MVP, my parents, they watched our monsters all week. We have 3 dogs and a cat, and apparently they were good, but that's still a lot of animals. So shout out to my parents, Rich and Jamie Hall. They are the original program mom and program dad, and I wouldn't be here without them. We wouldn't be here without them. My MVPs, mom and dad. Love you guys.
Rich and Jamie rock. Ryan Tyson, round it out.
Yeah, it's wedding week. So obviously it's Mason and Katie. Thanks, you can't give it to anybody else, I don't think. We are super, super, super pumped to celebrate with you this weekend. I can't wait till our next pod for you to be a married man. That is so exciting. We're just really excited for you, man. And
that's right.
And, it's going to be a great weekend.
I appreciate you so much. It's going to be a fun time. I cannot wait. I'm going to party my face off for a whole weekend. It's going to be lit. Yeah.
And you have a honeymoon in Europe.
In Europe. It's going to be awesome. I'll be
fast.
missing 2 pods probably. Go ahead, Mark.
I'm throwing this out there to make sure I commit to do it. I want to be better about editing, so I'm going to edit the next 2 episodes.
Wow. Ooh. On air.
Throwing it there. On air.
On air.
To it. So listeners, when it's bad, please be graceful with me, because I'm trying. but I'm committing to it, because I think that we really need to make a point of taking this off Mason's plate as much as it is, and and it opens us all up, because it means everyone can just start dropping things if you want to. But I just think
for sure
we have so much on Mason, and that's not fair. So I'm committing to doing my part of it.
Ooh, it's all good. I do it for the program. I do it for the people. I do it for the guys. I do it for the guys. Gotta love it.
Wow.
So
beautiful.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I also want to call out all of the commenters this week telling me that I'm wrong to be worried about the running back room. You're wrong. Eric Gray is an NFL running back, and he accounted for 48% of our total rushing yards last season. What do y'all think? I understand there's a lot of dudes with a lot of names that we like, but if you think you can trust any one of those people and not assume that Dylan Gabriel also has to take a major step forward without a back to lean on, come on, man. There's more concerns than you guys are thinking about. You got to stop drinking the Kool-Aid so much. I love Kool-Aid. I'm addicted to it, and you guys are doing too much of it to say that we have a sure thing back there. Get out of here. That said, Caleb Hicks looks awesome in practice, guys. He's gigantic.
Love that. Amazing. Mark drinking the Kool-Aid. That's going to do it for this week's episode of the Program Guys podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe on our YouTube channel. Keep on subscribing. We love seeing it. It costs you $0 to do. Helps us out more than you know. You can follow us on Twitter at Program Guys with a Z, our Instagram, Program Guys with a Z, our Facebook page, Program Guys Podcast. Wherever you get your podcasts, as you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all of that good stuff. We will see you all next week. We appreciate you joining us early on this week. That's going to do it. Matt Gann, take us out.
Keep pushing it, baby.